Hello everyone, this is Rumi. I'm a registered nurse and I work in theatre, and I recently became a clinical support nurse, which means that I support learners on the floor, mainly the graduates and the undergraduates. At work, I've met so many amazing undergraduates who couldn't secure a graduate program for next year, which was quite disheartening and very sad for a lot of undergraduates as well. So that's why I just wanted to jump on here and give you a bit of a hope by sharing some of my stories and give you some options as well. So let's just briefly talk about what graduate program is. It is basically a transition year for new nurses to ease into their new role. It is a quite scary thing to just jump into the hospital clinical environment and do your job as a new graduate nurse. So it kind of eases you into it with the support and the guidance, and also with more learning opportunities as well. And once you complete a graduate program, it is much easier to get more jobs elsewhere as a registered nurse. It's normally a 12-month program, and once you complete it, it's normally easier to get a job that you want as a registered nurse somewhere else. The reality is there are thousands of amazing graduates that apply for this graduate program, and there's just simply not enough positions for everyone. So if you didn't get a position, that doesn't mean that you're not good enough and that you're not going to be a great nurse. I have a feeling that what they do is they give certain number of positions, and then regardless of you're great or not, they just randomly pick you and put you in those positions. So that's my thinking. I might be wrong, but especially for next year, there are just not enough positions. So what can you do now if you don't have a secure graduate program? The good news is there is a mid-year intake, so keep your eyes open and apply again, and also keep your options broad as well. There are so many other pathways that you can go into starting your career as a nurse. You can apply for aged care, you can apply for private hospitals, rural or regional areas, or even other states. You can apply for hospitals in Queensland, Tasmania, Victoria, Northern Territory. So there are so many hospitals interstate. And you can also apply for specialist clinics, so endoscopy suite or GP clinics, just any clinics out there. Every bit of experience counts, so all you need to do is just put your foot in the door, and once you get some sort of experience, you can build on that. So this means that even if you didn't get a graduate position, it's not the end of the world, because there are so many great nurses out there who didn't do graduate program and still got a job as a registered nurse. The pathway may be a little tougher. It is very scary to step into a clinical environment as a freshly graduated nurse. However, if you did get a position somehow, just embrace it and try to have resilience and get some experience, because the moment that you get some experience, it'll be easier to apply for further jobs as a registered nurse. I also want to share my story as well, because my journey wasn't a linear journey, wasn't that straightforward either. When I graduated from uni as a registered nurse nearly 5 years ago, I was an international applicant. So at that time, PMCV didn't accept any international applicants. So that meant that I had to wait for all the local applicants to get their position first, and whatever was left, I had to apply. So unfortunately, there weren't any positions left from the first round, and I had to wait for the mid-year intakes. So when I knew that PMCV didn't accept international applicants, I started applying everywhere. I applied to hospitals in Queensland, Northern Territory, Territory and even Tasmania. I believe I applied to every state and all the big hospitals and private hospitals, just anywhere that I could find, I was just applying. And I applied to even aged care, which was definitely not my favorite because I just wanted to get my foot in the door. I applied everywhere. Then one day I received a phone call from a public hospital in Tasmania offering a graduate position in one of the biggest hospitals in Tasmania. And of course, I just said yes. But the very next day, I received another phone call from a public hospital in Melbourne, and they offered me a mid-year graduate intake position as well. Because I was already living in Melbourne, I kindly declined the Tasmanian position and accepted the Melbourne offer. So what I'm trying to say is, please don't give up. The process is not linear. There will be ups and downs, and you won't get what you want straight away. But there are opportunities out there, often when you least expect them. Even if you don't secure a grad position, that's okay. And it's not reflective of who you are. It's not reflective of your skills and knowledge. You might have great grades and you might be a great nurse. So please, please, please don't let this discourage you, because there are so many great nurses out there who didn't get a position. It's not only you. And please don't give up. There are hospitals that still accept nurses without a graduate position. One of my students actually was very discouraged that she didn't get a grad program, but she kept applying for other hospitals, and during her placement she built connections and asked the nurses if they knew anyone, and eventually she landed a job in an endoscopy suite. And she wanted to become a theatre nurse as well, so that's a great opportunity for her. Because she kept an open mind, she managed to secure a position. She didn't give up, she applied, she made connections, and she showed her hard work during her placement as well. So there are options out there. You've already worked so hard to get here, and this is just another chapter in your journey. The ANMF actually has a great article on this topic, so if you want to read more about it, I'll link it down below. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Please do not give up. See you next time. Bye.